So we're looking at Hebrews chapter 1, verses 1 and 2, looking at the way that God speaks to us in the past and in the last. And it says in verse 1, in the past, God spoke to us. And in verse 2, in the last, well, God has spoken to us. That means God is still speaking. But I think there's a difference between the past and the last. So in the past, God spoke to our ancestors, it says, through the prophets at many times and in various ways. But in these last days, verse 2, He has spoken to us by His Son. So notice some differences, many different ways, and now one way. Spoke to our ancestors, but now directly to us. And I guess the question for us is, how is God speaking to you today? Yeah, as you read the Bible, how is God speaking to you today? And maybe you might say, oh, in many different ways. And that's a good thing. God used to speak in very powerful ways to Moses did some miracles there, visions with Daniel and Isaiah. And that's very, very powerful. But I guess it's trying to say that there's a more powerful way that God speaks to us today, and that is in the Lord Jesus Christ. And I guess if you really want to see what God is saying in His Word today as Christians, you really want to hear what He's saying to us about Jesus. Yeah. It says that Jesus is appointed as heir of all things, and through Jesus, He made the universe. And I guess that's kind of like saying that at the end of the age, God is going to give everything to Jesus, all the glory, all of creation, in fact, and that Jesus deserves this. Jesus made the universe. And in fact, verses 3 and 4 talk all about the Son, talk all about Jesus. It says He is the radiance of God's glory. That is, He reflects God's goodness, God's power. He is the exact representation, the word is character, of His being. Meaning, when you look at Jesus, you find out what God is like. How He is holy, how He is good, how He wants to save us. And finally, that He sustains all things by His powerful word. Jesus also speaks today. And His word is so powerful that He holds the whole universe together. Yeah, so what we find is that from the Bible saying that God speaks to us in many different ways, it focuses now in this one way that God speaks to us today, in the Son, and in Jesus.